Hi guys, welcome to our first father and son shenanigans episode. So I'm the father.
I'm the son.
Right, so for this episode, we're gonna do a quick review on our ESP guitars that we have. So we are fortunate enough to have two ESP guitars. So we have here the ESP LTD M1000 in snow white finish, and I'm holding the ESP E2 Horizon 2 guitar in tiger eye burst finish. Right, so what we're gonna do for this episode is we're just gonna go through the specs of each of the guitars, and then we'll do some playing, and it's just us talking about the guitar and what we feel on comparing both of it and our opinions on both of the guitar. Right, so let's start with the specs. Okay, Farid.
So this guitar has an elder body. For the fretboard, it has Macassa ebony fretboard. It has a maple neck, Grover tuners, Floyd Rose 1000, and both the bridge and neck pickups are AMG 81s.
So that's the ESP LTD. For the ESP E2, what we have here is a quilted maple top. So I don't know if you guys can see the beautiful quilted maple top, and not sure whether this is just a veneer or a full maple cap in terms of the quilted maple, but it is the maple top itself is a full thickness maple cap, and it has a mahogany body. The bridge is still Floyd Rose, but this is a Floyd Rose original, and we have still EMG pickups, but this is the 57 and 66 EMG set, and ebony fretboard, 3-piece maple neck, Goto locking tuners. And one of the big difference between these two guitars is the neck on the E2 has satin finish, whereas the LTD has gloss finish. But the overall of the guitar, both of them are gloss finish guitar, and I'm pretty sure both of them are also polyurethane gloss finish. Right, so that's the specs of the guitar. So let's do a quick run through on the sound. So what we're gonna do today is, because when we played both of the guitars, we realized that the sound is quite similar.
I've never played this guitar.
So let me correct that. When I play these two guitars, I feel that both of them sound very similar to each other. Maybe my ears are not that good. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna play both of the guitars. My son will play a bit clean and distortion. I'll play the same, and we'll just label it guitar A, guitar B without showing you which guitar that we play, and you be the judge. And by the end of it, we will let you know which are the guitars for guitar A and guitar B. And after the sound demo that we are going to do, we're gonna just talk through just a quick summary of what we think about both of the guitars. Right, let's check it out. Okay guys, so we've done the sound test and also a short Floyd Rose dive test for both of the guitars. So I don't know about you guys, but I think both of the guitars passed with flying colors on the Floyd dive test. In terms of the playability and sound, like I said, sound wise, I still feel both of the guitars sounds very similar to each other, but it's up to you guys to decide, right? So I guess I'll check with my son first what he thinks about the guitar. So which one do you feel more comfortable playing? Is it this one or this one?
Obviously, I prefer this one. It looks much nicer. I really like how it feels when I'm playing. It's very easy to slide around because of the satin finish on the back of the neck.
And I also think that they polish the fret very well, right? So that it's very easy for you to slide.
The polished frets, they definitely feel much smoother compared to the LTD. You can feel a little bit of slight roughness. This one feels much smoother compared to that one.
Guys, so just a quick caveat, right? When we say roughness, right, there's nothing wrong with the frets on the LTD, and it has been polished quite well as well. It's just that when you compare to the E2, you just realize that it's just a cut above. That's what my son is trying to say, and this is what his first reaction from the moment he started to hold the guitar and play it. So this is just next level fret polishing, because to be fair, right, both of these guitars uses nickel frets, and even for the fretboard radius, the E2 is only 12 inch, whereas the LTD I think is about 13 inch plus. In terms of the neck profile also is very important. So the E2 is a C shape, whereas the LTD is more of a D shape, right? I know both of them are described as thin U shape, but it's quite different. If you guys have the opportunity to check both of these, right, go ahead and do it. So I would say the LTD feels a bit more similar to the Jackson Soloist Pro. I've never played the Jackson American made guitar, so I don't know how they feel, but for the Soloist Pro made in Indonesia, it feels very similar. Very similar in a sense, the neck is slim, but the fretboard is quite tall or quite broad, if you want to say it, right? It's different than the ESP, the E2, ESP E2. The E2 is, the fretboard is not as broad, right? But it has a bit of meat at the back on the neck, but it's not a fat neck. No, it's nowhere near a fat neck, but you still have a bit of body there, so you can feel that. Coupled with the satin finish at the back, it just felt more comfortable to play, because the C shape is quite small, right? For us Asian, I think we prefer this compared to the D shape. But honestly, as someone that's been playing guitar for a while, I don't really feel the difference, and it's not like day and night kind of difference, right? Farid, do you feel that it's too different, this guitar, from each other in terms of sound, in terms of the way it plays?
I'm not really an experienced guitar player. For me, a guitar is a guitar. They don't really feel too different.
Too different, right?
There might be a difference in the playing, but overall,
little, right?
Overall, it's just not much difference.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So he's not experienced. I'm not gonna say I'm experienced, but I've played guitar for some years, and I have the same opinion. It's not like night and day. There's a bit difference, but for you to spend like 2 times the price for the E2, so the E2 is like 2 times the price of this LTD. I think more than 2 times, is what, 2.5 times? That's how expensive the E2 is. Of course, certain things, right? I think what we didn't cover was, another thing was, even though the Floyd Rose, both of them work pretty well on the tuning stability, but in terms of the whammy bar, you do notice, I mean guys, the ones that are using Floyd Rose Special or Floyd Rose 1000 or 1500, it doesn't matter. For you guys, you face the same problem as us, or as me. If you're using a Floyd 1000 or Floyd Special, the whammy bar would keep on getting loose. So when you use it for a while, right, afterwards you will need to keep tightening it back. With the Floyd Rose Original, you don't have the issue. You can use it day and night and it will still stay at the same tightness, right? So that's one of the biggest difference between these two. In terms of tuning stability, I can tell you now, even the Floyd Rose Special is quite stable tuning wise. I don't have any problem when I was using the M400. And of course, in terms of the make and feel, there is quite a huge difference, as in if you look at the bindings, the E2 is done, I think it's like 99.9% perfect. I mean, the only thing that I can see is like this 1 or 2 of the block inlay is just not aligned properly. That's it. And it's very small. The rest of it, the guitar just looks perfect, man. There's nothing wrong with the guitar. And for me, the guitar is, I would not say rightly priced, but if you compare this guitar to a Gibson USA, for example, it's way cheaper than a Gibson USA, and you actually get more for your money, because you get a guitar that's very accessible to play. You get Floyd Rose Original, you get good pickups, you get locking tuners, things that you will not get with a Gibson Standard that you pay like another maybe what, 50%. For me, it's still a very worthwhile guitar to get if you have the money, or if you can borrow or beg, or okay, don't steal money. If you can borrow a bag, why not? No, try your best, because you only live once, and the E2 is just something like, it's a must-have. If you're playing guitar, doesn't matter if you're playing metal or not. It really doesn't matter. You can do clean, you can do distortion, you can do anything that you want it to do, and it's highly reliable. So the only thing is, when do you want to use either of these guitars? I would feel that if you're a gigging musician, and depends on the location of your gigs, because I know certain people, you know, you're gigging at a very dodgy place or whatever it is, right? So you don't know the security in those gigs, locations and all. So for you to bring your E2, maybe it's a high risk. So in those situations, LTD works perfectly, right? It stays in tune, sounds great, plays great, and if something happened to it, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get sad or mad, but it's not gonna be as bad when something happened to the E2, right? I think if something happened to the E2, oh my god, that's it. I guess in the end, that's what we think about both of these guitars. So if you ask us which one is the best, I would say both are the same. In a sense, it depends on how or when you want to use it. If you're just playing it at home, maybe the E2 is a better option, sounded better, more reliable for recording and all. That being said, there's nothing wrong with the LTD. It's all about preference, and hope we are not being that brand conscious kind of people where the name on the headstock means more than how the guitar plays and sounds. So I hope we are not one of those people. If you look at a lot of videos out there, even from music shops around the world, they would market E2 as having custom shop quality but at a fraction of a price, something like that, right? Which is true. I agree with that totally, but doesn't mean that the LTD needs to be discounted at all. Both are great instruments with great value, great quality, and I don't think you'll regret buying any one of these. I think that wraps up our video, or our first episode of Father and Son Shenanigans. Do you have anything else to add?
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
No.
Alright, so tell us what you guys think about the episode. You know, please like and subscribe our channel, and just share whatever you wanna share in the comment section. You know what you think, and maybe in the next episodes, what do you expect to see when we are doing all this simple comparison between different guitars that we have. I do have a couple more comparisons that I'm planning to do. So depending on my son's availability, since he's so busy, depending on when he's available, and maybe, you know, we can do a couple more videos and look at the different guitars that we have. With that, see you guys later. Take care all. Bye bye. Okay.
He's so busy.